I will say but three quick things. There's like a intersection that occurs between like the percussionist that is participatory, part of an ensemble. Mm-hmm. And then the one who adds color.
Yes.
Like, what about those? You can't exclude the ones that are career timpanists. Like, the career timpanists.
You can't exclude them, of course, but I never run into them.
But how does the world classify them all as drummers? Like we're talking the common man. Mm-hmm. If timpanist rolls up to the bar and is like, I would like and the kit player comes right up next to no one in the average domain of the universe is going to be able to differentiate between the two, and yet we know that they couldn't be. Like Australia and Canada is what they are. Like they're essentially speaking the same language.
Right, but their jobs are completely different. Their areas of specialization are
their perspective.
Different. Sure. I don't know any career timpanists, so I don't actually know what those guys are like.
Which is why I need to be on your show.
Hey folks, welcome to a very special episode of Hitmakers. This was all recorded on location from my mobile studio, handheld studio, as I was walking around the recent East Coast Music Awards in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, which is where I live. If you're unfamiliar, it's 3 or 4 days, I guess. It starts on Wednesday, ends on Sunday, so that's probably 5 days. Of shows, awards. There's a couple different award ceremonies and a lot of live music. So there's a lot of musicians floating around. It was my first time doing this. I kind of underestimated how difficult it is to grab a good sounding clip of somebody in a noisy bar, or kind of just the logistics of carrying some microphones and a recorder around with me. They're bigger and more cumbersome than you think, folks. So we've got a grab bag of guests. I think they've all got something good to say. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made the podcast. Enjoy. You can check the show notes. If you want to know who you're hearing from, that'll be at learndrums.ca/hitmakers. All right. I hope you enjoy this one. We're here at the Marquee in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm hanging out with
Mike Morrison,
Matt THAUVETTE,
and they both play the drums. What have you guys been up to this weekend? Mike?
my band Fire Valley Fire just played a showcase downstairs.
Downstairs being?
The Seahorse, but I still call it Hell.
Right, the former Hell's Kitchen, now known as the Seahorse Tavern. How'd it go?
It was good, yeah, it was great.
Good. How many songs did you play?
4.
Yeah? How do you feel about that set length?
I'd rather play a longer set. I feel we're just getting warmed up at 4 songs, so but it was still fun. It was sweaty as hell down there, so that's always good.
So, Fire Valley Fire, how long's the band been around?
About 2 years.
Okay. What kind of music?
We are a rock and roll band.
In the tradition of?
I don't know. Deep Purple. Iron Maiden.
And it went well?
It was good. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, first time we played outside of Sydney, so. Yeah.
Cool. But you've been to Halifax many times before?
I played this building many times, yeah.
All right, Matt THAUVETTE, what about yourself?
This weekend, I was playing with Mo Kenny, who I've been playing with for years, and Port City.
Totally. Like a motorcycle starting now, so we're going to shut it down. Thanks, guys.
How the hell are you doing?
Okay, so we are here talking to Lisa MACLAGGAN of Tomato.
Hi.
Hey, Lisa. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. I I feel like I got a note, so it's not weird. I might cut this out that Lisa's husband and bandmate John is here too. Hello.
We do
But-
things together, so.
Yeah. But today we're talking drums.
Yes.
So, Lisa, when did you start playing percussion?
Well, it's interesting that you ask. I've always really liked it, but I did not grow up playing it at all. I guess piano is technically in the percussion section, and I do play some piano, but I never really played any percussion until I took a tabla drumming class.
That's a pretty heavy way to get in.
Yeah. I really like Indian music, and I studied some Indian music. I studied some ragas and talas and stuff, and I took a tabla drumming class when I was in university, and then I played in like a world music ensemble for maybe a semester, and that was really fun. And I've always been very intrigued and interested and kind of collected little percussion instruments around. I had a kabasa sitting on my shelf for like a decade, and then started playing it with John around the house. But yeah, I wouldn't say I actually started playing any percussion in any actual capacity until this band.
Okay. But you've had that experience, and also I find it interesting that your current setup seems to have been analogous to your interest all along.
Yeah, totally. It is. It's very interesting to me too. It kind of makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
In a way. And I mean, I'm a musician, and so I study music, and, you study rhythm, and I've studied time and groove and all those things, but I never actually you have to study that on whatever you play, so.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found when I started doing some of Jerry Grinelli's workshops here, he talks about, like, there's no such thing as a drummer. You're a musician who happens to play the drums.
That's your, vehicle for your artistry.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. 100%.
But I found that so liberating.
It is, and absolutely. It's a very important distinction and realization to make, to not get too wrapped up in your, identity as a whatever, because you are many things.
Totally, yeah, exactly, especially in life. Like, if you were only a drummer and you couldn't, I don't know.
Aren't you a human first? I'm a human.
Yeah.
who is an artist, who is a musician for my art, and part of that is playing a million instruments at the same time.
Absolutely. But that's kind of the deal anyway. Okay, so now on that topic of playing a million instruments at the same time, your setup has grown. Like I was saying last night, it's probably doubled since the last time I saw you play. So what did you start with in this group? And for those who don't know, Tomato Tomato is a folk duo. Guitar, voice, and percussion.
Yeah, and there's there's a lot of harmony going on, and John plays a few different guitars now, some electric. He's got a fancy pedal board. I don't really know what any of those buttons do.
I saw the pedal board on the screen. You couldn't see it on the stage, but I know where to look.
I think it's just I don't know. He just looks like he's hitting buttons. Mm-hmm. I'm just kidding. Originally it was me playing a tambourine with a kick drum pedal attached to it on one foot. Forward facing, and I just played with the 1 foot, and then I played a kabasa, the one that I had on the shelf for like a decade. I had that, and maybe an egg shaker. Mm-hmm. I think I had like 2 little wooden claves maybe that I used to play sometimes. Maybe like on one song, I think I played those, and I played a melodica for a while. Yeah, and so that was like kind of the bare bones beginning. And then I played an old suitcase that I kind of used as a kick drum, and that's when I started to turn them around backwards, the pedals.
You find that works better?
Playing backwards? Yeah. For me, it works. But again, I'm not a drummer. I'm not a traditional drummer. I don't sit down when I play, and I think I would fall down if I was facing the other way. So I'm kind of playing them on my heels,
I would think, your foot, the shape of your foot, its balance would be much easier that way, rather than rocking on your heels and kind of flapping your feet or whatever.
Yes, and I really wanted to play with both feet, and I didn't know how to do it. And I saw Shaky Graves. I have to shout out to Shaky Graves, because I was very inspired by his setup.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, got you. I'd seen him too when he was here, and I think it was the first time I'd ever seen. Because at first you're like, where's that drum sound coming from?
Yeah. Yep. We saw him open for Old Crow Medicine Show, and my mind was blown, and I left being like, that's what I need to do to play 2 feet. So then I did that, and then I got an actual kick drum, which, turns out real drums sound better than suitcases.
Who knew?
I know. It's like they're like a viable instrument just by themselves. So I got a real kick drum. That was nice. And then I found the Farmer Foot Drum Company at the Folk Alliance conference. And they were like, we want you to try our drums. This is like perfect for what you're doing. And I was like, okay, great. So then I have this little, it's only 18 inches deep. Or no, is that wrong? 10, sorry. 10 inches deep. Kick drum. And a snare drum as well that I've mounted and like it stands up.
I saw that, yeah, and you've got, I was wondering about, is it like a double kick pedal or something that you've rigged up? Yeah.
It's a double kick pedal with one of the pedals soldered off.
Yeah, right.
So I call my technician in to do that, named John.
Oh, yeah?
And his dad.
Your tech, yeah.
My tech crew.
Your roadie.
So we soldered off one of the pedals, and so that I can do that.
Yeah.
So my current setup is bass drum on my right foot, snare drum on my left foot, a washboard around my neck most of the time, and then also sometimes a tambourine and a shaker, and I have another tambourine on a stand next to me with a
cymbal.
Zildjian cymbal.
Yeah.
It's a nice cymbal. I like it.
It's a Zildjian, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Zildjian cymbals.
Yeah. I only say that because this is like a drummer thing. So drummers
whatever.
would think that was neat, but other people might not care.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what people care about.
I don't either.
But so you've also got a cymbal on your washboard and a couple of cans.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty involved setup. I was like watching you play last night, and like you've got a lot going on while you're singing.
I thank you for noticing. I really do have a lot going on.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to really kind of orchestrate that setup. So on any given song, like, it's like all those things are involved. Like I've got a tambourine and the cans and the cymbals and it's all happening. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It's interesting because you seem to have come to it the opposite way, which I did, which was being a drummer who then started singing backup in the band, and I always disliked it because and this would be different for me because I would have to like crane my neck to be into a microphone. And also I would grunt into the mic while I was playing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We want to hear the grunting.
But mainly because it's hard to do.
What's that?
Like coordination-wise, play drums and sing at the same time. To separate those two things.
Well, I mean, I'm a singer first, like 100%. And I went to school for that, and I studied it a lot. And so that is something I can kind of do that is a strength.
Right.
And the all the other coordinating stuff, it's definitely grown. And I do different, like sometimes I'm playing different patterns on the pedals as well. And it's all stuff I've just kind of tried and been like, I can do it. Why can't I do it? I can just do it. I'm going to just do it, and I just kind of make myself, I don't know, I just kind of hop in there.
Just believe and achieve?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know that that's not typical, and like when I decided to play the washboard, I was very like, I don't know how to. I saw a video of a street band in New Orleans on YouTube, and someone had a washboard, and I thought it looked so fun. And I was like, John, I think I need a washboard. And he was like, okay. So he got me a washboard for Mother's Day, actually, which is really funny.
That's so sweet.
We're those people.
That's great. Where did you get that washboard?
I think he ordered it online.
Okay.
Ordered it. Did I say that? I don't know. He ordered it.
Ordered it.
Ordered it online for me. It was not like a specific. There are some washboard companies that are like specific.
Like music washboards?
Yeah, like music Wi-Fi. I have like an Instagram relationship with a couple of washboard.
Oh,
companies.
really?
I mean,
didn't know that
that's
existed.
as far as our relationship goes,
Yeah.
really. Yeah, there's like electric washboards. There's a whole
Really?
thing. Yes.
I had no idea. I found out about the porch board, which I guess I've known about for a while, but similar kind of thing. It's like a board that you stomp on that you also plug in.
Yeah.
I didn't know
don't
that
know how
existed
to-
either.
I don't know. I don't know. I like my setup.
Oh yeah, the kick drum works, especially because with the two-piece, it's nice to have a little bit of like, you guys are covering a lot of sonic ground.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
It's nice because you can take things away. That's the thing. Is like, yes, I'm playing a lot of stuff at the same time, but I have a lot of potential to build sonically,
Yeah, totally.
and like create a lot of sounds or take them away and create dynamic, changes and.
Yeah, you've got a lot of options for
Yeah.
sure. So another question I had, like, I see you doing a lot of doubles and things on the wash. Like, do you practice drum rudiments or what?
No, I don't.
How'd you develop? Well, I don't know if you should. You're like,
I should practice
working
paradiddles.
fine. I don't know. Should you?
I don't know. I have done paradiddles. They're fun.
Yeah.
I just like drumming stuff. I don't know. I've always really liked it.
It's fun, but I feel like rudiments are one of those things that I was totally against learning them, working on them forever. And then when I was forced to, I realized, like, wow, I can play better now.
Yeah.
And then you understand the value of them, but they still seem like the most boring part of drumming.
Well, it's, you know what, though? I think I have done, I shouldn't say no, I never ever do, but I mean, I have definitely spent time with a metronome.
Yeah.
More working on grooves, though, not working on rudiments.
Mm-hmm.
And John and I sometimes will plug our metronome in and crank it to 1,000,000 through a PA and like flip it, like, okay, now this is 1 and 3, now this is 2 and 4, now this is the third triplet, and we like play the same tune over and over with the metronome, being on different.
Really?
Yes, we're super nerdy.
That's really interesting, though. Could you break down that process a little more?
Yeah.
So, like you say you put it on 1 and 3, put it on 2 and 4, and this is the third triplet.
Yeah. So like if your metronome is going click, 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 you can hear that as like 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can hear it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that changes the groove, right?
Yeah, totally.
So we change it around a lot, and then our groove gets a lot stronger.
Right. What about the triplet thing?
Well, if it's like wanna
Okay.
so then it makes your swing feel super swingy.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking of it as like swung eighth notes, you're thinking of it as you're actually playing the first and last triplet instead of like a dotted 8th, 16th rhythm.
So you've got the metronome as the middle note of the triplet. Is that right? Am I saying that?
I mean, you could.
Oh,
put
okay.
it
No, but that's
however,
not.
right.
That's not what you're saying, though.
It's playing like the downbeat or like the beat and then the third triplet. So it's
Okay.
just forcing us. We do that at really slow tempos, and it's just forcing us for certain tunes to like really be conscious of the heavy swing. Yeah.
I guess my question is, I hear what you're saying, but I don't see how a straight metronome could be if it hasn't got a swing built into
That's
it. You know.
right. Well, that's
It has a triplet. It has the triplet subdivision. built into it.
Gotcha.
But we also do beat. Like, so we'll do 1, 3, 2, 4, and then we'll just do beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4.
that's cool because it's
challenging. Yeah.
it's revealing.
Right.
Like, can you hang on to that for the full 3 beats in between before it comes back again? Right.
Yeah, totally. That was a huge revelation for me when I found out like you could play with a metronome like it was another musician,
Yes.
as opposed to like this thing that you have to follow or obey or whatever.
Yeah, I had a teacher tell me, like, try to make your metronome sound amazing. Like, it's the most groovy thing you've ever played with. I'm like, oh, it's pretty brilliant.
Yeah,
So we try to do that.
and it's way more fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, metronomes are great.
Yeah. Yeah, as it turns out. I know it is a funny thing because that's another one that until you kind of figure out what it's good for, you're like, oh, God, that's painful. I actually have a friend who's teaching guitar or bass lessons. I can't remember, but he told his student anyway, okay, so let's flip on the metronome. The kid goes, oh, you mean Satan's heartbeat?
Oh, no. That's so sad. Yeah. And I find with singing, people sometimes like really tend to like cover their ears when there's harmony happening. Like they're afraid of like maybe moving away from the pitches they're supposed to be singing because they get distracted by whatever someone else is singing. They can't control their voice to not drift.
Right.
And so they tend to cover their ears and like be like, I'm not hearing it. I'm just going to do what I do. And I'm always like saying to open your ears and like hear how that fits together instead of trying to avoid it.
I would think, and this is pure speculation, I don't actually know, but if you're singing harmony, it also is like they have to work together. It's like even in terms of like if you're a band playing a song and like somebody screws it up, you're much better off if the entire band moves together rather than like one person's right, one person's wrong, but we're both not playing the same thing.
Totally. And as a duo, that's something that we've grown just, instead of like, if someone's rushing, which is usually me, instead of like fighting each other on the tempo, we like go together, and then afterwards we're like, ooh, that kind of took off, but like if you just try, you got to play together.
Yeah, exactly. Because the audience doesn't know if the audience doesn't know who's right.
Right, and it's not about who's right and wrong. That's the other thing.
No, it's
right?
not. It's
like, like we all have to just chill out.
Yeah, it is the other funny thing. I know there's no like you don't get a sticker if you're correct or something.
And you don't win.
Yeah,
There's no winner at the end.
I think we do lean on each other a little bit in terms of tempo. Like if one of us is rushing, then there's certainly a point where you're like, I'm going to like lay a little heavy on this and see if we can like lock it down a little.
Right.
It's not just like, we used to just go.
Yeah.
Just like, here we go. And we would just kind of feed into each other and it would get crazy. But now I think there's a line where you can kind of like, I'm going to lean on this a little bit and try and hold it back. But I'm not going to be like kind of a dick.
Yeah.
And like, nope, this is where it is. You go ahead and rush if you want.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. Because ultimately, it's like if you're too heavy-handed, like you are also hurting the song. Yeah. But yeah, that's fair. Also, because did you find that like when you get up on stage, your energy levels are higher, and you just wind up playing everything faster anyway?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's getting better, definitely. We're getting a lot more into the groove of things, and like, all the subdivision practices have been helpful. But yeah, and we're also getting more relaxed as performers. So, it's the nerves aren't as heightened.
Yeah.
So then we're able to kind of, lean into the music rather than just like attacking it. Like, I used to feel very, I feel really in control of what I'm doing now. And I used to just be like, oh my God, like what's happening?
Right.
If I like do anything, I'm just going to fall over and make a million mistakes and fall off my pedals and drop my things. And, I just felt like if everything was about to be a train wreck.
Yeah.
And it was all on me
Totally.
to not be a train wreck.
And it could go wrong at any minute.
Yes.
And you're just like, your job is to hopefully avoid that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's nice to not be just thinking of avoiding a train wreck and be actually enjoying like the process of making music.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, you guys seem very comfortable up there.
We are. That's
Yeah.
good that it translates.
Yeah.
It's like our happy place. I mean, like, it's the only time that everything else stops. I'm not worried about getting groceries and my laundry and all that. I'm busy. Like, my brain is occupied.
Yeah.
It's the best high. It's the best therapy. Like, we are so present in that moment. And it's my happy place for sure. So I'm glad it seems like we're relaxed.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That seems like maybe a natural point to cut it off to.
Sure.
Cool.
And thank you so much for having me. I
Lisa,
really appreciate
thank you so
chatting with
much.
me.
And thank you, John.
This is the first time anyone's ever wanted to talk to me about drum things. Like, for real.
Get ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, once this hits the airwaves, the
Viral is
the
happening.
fiber optic cables, whatever they are now.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to go I don't know if viral
Modern-
is a thing for podcasts.
I don't think it is. I don't
Well, maybe
know. But
it will be now.
I think if it was a super controversial episode, then maybe.
Oh.
So anything you want to drop, now's the time.
I tend to recoil from conflict, so I'll
Gotcha.
probably keep it pretty, at peace and love, everyone.
Hey, that works. Okay, cool. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. We're in the lobby of the Halifax Marriott Hotel. I'm here with Emily Stewart. What time is it, Emily?
Probably 2:30 in the morning. I'm not sure.
All right, and where are we?
We are at the Halifax Courtyard Marriott.
More specifically, what part of the hotel?
We are in the restaurant in the lobby at the East Coast Music Awards.
Okay, and what's going on?
There's the Flo case going on. I'm pretty sure Flo Sampson's at the piano right now. That's Gordie Sampson's mother. I'm not quite sure, but I'm loving every second of it.
I think you're right. That's my assumption, too.
Right. I think I'm right. I'm not always right, but I think I am this time.
Do you want your own mic? Yeah, I have 2 mics. I just realized. Or I know not much. Hello. Hello.
M. Stu.
Hello.
Hanging with Emily Stewart. See you, Devin.
And Devin Fox.
Say hello. Hello. Yeah, I think let's just do some freeform radio.
Sure. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm good with it.
So yeah, we're here at the Flo case.
The Flo case featuring Flo Sampson, Gordie Sampson's mother.
Which is a tradition at the ECMAs, right?
It is a tradition. I actually went to my first time at a Flo case was at the 2016 ECMAs in
which
Sydney.
were where?
In Sydney, where the Sampsons are from.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
they're
right.
from Cape Breton. So it was nice to be there and kind of I was at Flo's house and she was playing the piano.
Wild.
It was pretty surreal.
Was Gordie there?
No. Gordie was not there, much to my dismay.
I know that she does this every year. I remember the one last year in St. John in the basement lobby of the hotel. The year before, I don't recall being even at a late night party at a hotel. It seemed to be a little bit more spread out or something that year.
I'm pretty sure it was just at somebody's house.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I showed up with a friend of mine, so.
Yeah, because that was a night. So the previous time in Sydney, it was a shit show. Like, it was a disaster. Like, amazingly. Do you remember that?
I had a great showcase. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was in like
The ECMAs
2011 or something. Not like 2 years ago, but then there was one where the reason I think they moved the party out of the hotel is because people were smashing bottles in the hall and in the elevator.
Where was it hosted?
The Delta, downtown Sydney.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, were you at that one?
No.
Okay, yeah.
But that makes sense.
So that would be why it wasn't at the hotel also, because that one was...
They probably were like, don't ever come back.
Yeah, smoking just in the halls in the lobby.
I'm just kidding. No. They should always ask any of the Sampsons back.
Yeah.
Brilliant people.
So, do you know the Sampsons? Do you know Flo?
I don't know any of them personally. Actually, no. I've met Gordie a few times, but we don't know each other personally. However, I'm a huge Gordie Sampson fan. I've always loved Gordie. I asked my parents for a fake ID when I was younger because I wanted to go see Gordie play at the Carlton. I was too young, and I grew up on his records. Sunburn was my favorite record when I was younger. I know every word to every song. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm real nerdy about Gordie Sampson.
How old were you when you first heard Gordie Sampson's music?
Probably 8. Maybe 8.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I introduced my best friend to Gordie Sampson as well, and she became a huge fan. We spent a lot of time listening to Gordie, and we planned to get together to go to shows because she doesn't live here. So if Gordie's doing a show, it's something that we share together. So she'll come out and we'll, go together and experience that together. And we're singing the whole time. We're crying. It's great. The whole thing. Love it.
Wild. He's a guy, I have to admit, I'm not super familiar with his music.
Really?
Yeah, I think when it came out, I would have been a teenager and it wasn't my style.
I feel like like you would know things.
Oh, I know. Like everyone's heard like Jesus Take the Wheel, or like some of the. You know what I mean though. But like some
I'm
of
like
the big
rolling
hits
my
that he's
eyes
written.
here. Like I'm like, of course, Jesus Take the Wheel is a Grammy Award-winning song. It's brilliant. I love that song. However, it's not. Like there's
It's
just
not
so
what
much
you're
more.
after?
There's just so much more that Gordy's done. You've got
I've
to
heard
take
a
a
bit
look
of
at
that.
this.
Honestly, like I heard a bit of that Sunburn album because my parents had a copy
You Were
of it.
Somebody Like You is my favorite song off the album.
Okay.
Davy Jones was a great song off his next album, which the one that came out after that. Fly on the Wall off Sunburn, great song. That's my chill, just like if I just get home and I just need to chill out, I open a window and I put on Fly on the Wall and I just sit there and I sing.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So when did that album come out?
Lord knows. It's 2:30 in the morning, Ryan. I'm not quite sure when anything has happened in life.
To put it differently, how long have you been a fan?
My whole life, I guess.
Okay.
My parents were big fans, so it was like I kind of grew up listening to his
Gotcha,
music.
yeah.
It was always on rotation, right? So yeah.
What's up? Yeah, podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
That makes sense. I've been watching you on I'm sorry. I've been
Oh,
watching
yeah.
the cameras thinking, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just recording.
We're doing an interview
for future release.
Do you like Gordy Sampson?
Who?
Gordy Sampson?
Never heard the name before.
All right, fair enough.
Cape Breton songwriter. We're just talking about
He
that was
wrote
a real-
most of Carrie Underwood's songs. He wrote Jesus Take the Wheel. He's from Cape Breton. His mother was just playing the piano. Brilliant family. You should look up Gordy Sampson. It's a great song. It's a great song. Do you like Hunter Hayes? He's a country artist. Gordy also writes with him. Do you watch The Voice?
No, I don't watch TV.
Oh. There was a winner. Sorry. Yes. No, there was Cassidy Pope was a winner years ago on The Voice, and Gordy wrote a song that she ended up releasing years later, and it was a great song.
You too. Thanks.
I don't think you realized how nerdy I was about Gordy Sampson until you started doing this. I'm so sorry.
No need to apologize. It's actually great.
Yeah, no, I'm super into Gordy. Love his music. I would love to write with Gordy one day. Like to do one of his song camps. I've never applied. I should probably do that.
Is it the kind of thing like can you get in if you apply, or is it an audition process?
As long as you're, I think, below 25 and you have good lyrics, and I like to think my lyrics are okay, and I'm like mostly under 25, so so I've got like a year left.
All right. So are you gonna do it this year?
Hopefully.
Okay. Hopefully. Why hopefully?
Well, I haven't applied yet. Not even quite sure if the submissions are still open, and I have a ridiculously busy schedule this coming summer, so hopefully I make it out. If I don't, it's not a huge deal. I'll get to work with the people that I'm meant to work with eventually.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you've got a very busy schedule with what?
I'm doing a lot of shows this summer. I'm also recording my new album, which comes out in the fall. So I have all the blueprints done. Everything's all set to go into the studio. I'm just waiting to work with a producer who's in Vancouver, actually.
Amazing.
And I'm kind of working with a couple different producers on my new record, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm moving to Toronto, and I'm building a team there, and I'm just stoked, actually.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you. When are you moving?
Hopefully September. I'm supposed to go up Labor Day weekend anyway to go see Ed Sheeran, and I might just not come back. I'm just going to take a leap of faith, I think. I've already kind of started building a team out there, and I was out there writing with Rhea May and Gabby Geneva and Caesar White, and we all did some stuff in the Sony studio out there, and I feel like I need to be there. I feel like it's somewhere that I'm supposed to be right now. So
good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should do that.
Yeah. You're right, Ryan.
Yeah.
I should do
Now
that.
you're gonna do it. Now because I said that.
Just because you said it, I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm looking for something.
I'm going to
say.
thank you years from now.
Yeah.
Like, thank
that
you,
was the moment.
Ryan,
that was the moment
for. Yeah.
Claiming it right here.
Love it.
Emily Stewart's success is attributable to one moment.
Lowly
in time.
ginger.
Yeah. Hey,
Just
one
kidding.
ginger to another. I
One
say,
ginger to
get it,
another.
girl.
Yeah, baby. Let's
Are
do
you
this.
going by Emily Stewart professionally?
I am. You know what? I'm playing with the idea of changing my name. I thought about Hallie Days, like HALI space DAZE,
Yeah.
Hallie Days. I thought that would be kind of cool because I'm from Halifax, but it also sounded kind of cheesy. So I kind of moved on to the idea of Ignited for a band.
Yeah.
Because somebody told me that I was ignited once. They were like, they were talking to me once, and somebody said, I think Emily's pretty lit. And they were like, nah, man, she's ignited. Look at her hair. And I was like, oh, man, that would be a cool name for a band. Ignited.
To me, it like the one. Well, I don't know what kind of band would it be?
Oh, a pop band. Pop rock. Pop rock for sure. Like, we do
It's got,
some
like, to
Led
me, a bit of,
Zeppelin.
like, an 80s
It's
metal
gotta be
sound,
like,
you know what I mean?
No, it doesn't have to be 80s metal. Where do you live in your brain? God. Sorry, I love the 80s. I'm really into 70s music right now, though. Really into 70s.
Like what specifically?
Like a lot of like Carly Simon. I'm really into the Doobie Brothers. I love Led Zeppelin. We're super into the Stones. I love 70s rock. I love Carole King. I love Joni Mitchell. I love like anything that came, like Seals and Croft. I love anything that came out of the 70s. Yes, you do. You would know their song Summer Breeze.
Summer Breeze.
Like summer breeze makes me feel fine.
Oh God,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And you know what? I discounted 70s music for a long time, and I brushed it aside for too long, and I just didn't realize that it was the greatest thing that ever happened to music. The Bee Gees happened. ABBA happened. It was so good. It was so good.
The an album that I dug out and was listening to recently that I bought for like $1 was America. Have you listened to that band?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like knockoff Neil Young Light.
My
But it's
favorite
good.
song
It's
by
like-
America.
What's his name?
It's
played
called
on
Muskrat
Al
Love.
Blaine? What's that?
It's called Muskrat Love. My favorite song by America.
I thought that was the Captain and Tennille.
No. It's America. Same people that sing Horse with No Name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that one. I don't know Muskrat Love. It's a song I've heard referred to.
I think I just loved it
but
when I
never
was a
heard.
kid because I knew what a muskrat was.
Is it
And I
actually-
was like, oh man, I know what that is. That's great. Muskrat Love. I know what that rodent is.
Is it about muskrats being in love?
Yes. It's about Muskrat Susie and Muskrat Sam. And they fall in love.
What else happens?
In the song?
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to listen to it to find out. I'm not going to give everything away. I've given you so much advice during this, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you learn at 2:30 o'clock in the 2:30 o'clock. Of course, I just said that. 2:30 in the morning at the Halifax Marriott at the ECMAs.
That is what they say. All right, we are here with Lucas Reeves, folks.
Hi, guys.
How are you, Lucas?
I'm tired.
Yeah, what have you been up to the last couple days?
Loading in every, can I swear?
Yes.
Every fucking venue that we have at ECMAs and taking care of every band and making things happen.
And how has that been?
Fantastic. Everybody is lovely.
Good to hear. Any highlights for you?
Yeah, there were a few. I mean, I didn't get to see a lot of bands. I never do. But there were a few. Soap Opera from Newfoundland. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I thought so too. I caught them at the Seahorse.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. Scenic Route to Alaska, big fan of theirs as well. They're a West Coast band, but yeah, they're fantastic.
I'm not familiar with them. Where did they play?
They were at Gus's pub.
Which night was that?
It was last night.
Okay.
They finished off the night. Really good band. I saw them in St. Catharines. I was in Toronto 2 weeks ago. They're fantastic.
Okay.
Jody Upshaw's fantastic as well. There's so many East Coast. I mean, everyone's fucking great.
Tons of musicians.
Tons of musicians.
An embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when we were programming, we went through, and it was how do we put all of these awesome bands together? And I think I think this week was really good for everybody, and I think everyone walks away happy. I hope.
It's been good for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was away and I landed here Thursday morning and like right into it.
Where were you?
I was in LA.
LA. What were you doing in LA?
I went to a conference, an industry conference, and I recorded a couple of drum podcasts, and I took a drum lesson.
Oh, nice. Who'd you do the drum lesson with?
Dave Elich.
I'm not familiar.
He played with the Mars Volta. That was his first big gig.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Right
and
on.
then he did like Miley Cyrus and M83.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Fucking, Miley Cyrus. If Miley, I love you. Just because, I know you're not from the East Coast, but I do love you, Miley.
Miley, if you're listening.
If you're listening,
you've got a fan.
Big fan. So what else? What did you like this? What did you see that you were into?
I went to the awards show. Was the first thing I did.
Okay.
And I was really impressed. I thought the lineup was cool. The production was great.
Yeah.
Everybody was happy.
Yeah.
It was my first time being a member of the press, so I went to the press room and I wandered around backstage, and a lot of good performers. Who did I like? The opening, I guess it was Universal Soul who opened
Into
it.
Joel.
They were really good.
Yeah.
Plaska was good.
Yeah.
Quake was great.
Quake's always great.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Yeah.
It was good, man.
The other
Kinley
thing
was good.
Yeah. Fuck Kinley. Oh, I love
Totally.
her. That's the thing is like we could talk about every single artist and I could say everything I love about every one of them.
Yeah.
And best kind, all of them. But another shout out, Sloan. Thank you guys.
Oh, Sloan were amazing.
Yes. Mike. I know you'll never hear me say this other than the other night, but Mike Nelson, their tour manager, is the best.
Yeah.
Best guy. All the guys in the crew and the band, they're all fantastic.
That's cool, man. I talked to Jay Ferguson briefly backstage at the awards show.
Yeah.
I'd interviewed him. My roommate did, and I sat in on it for St. FX Campus Radio. My roommate Derek was like a Sloan super fan.
Oh, okay, cool.
And he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's he chatted with me for a second there, and he's like totally nice.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deadly.
Yeah. I would have liked to get them on here, but I didn't have it together. I don't know how to be a walk around interviewer, so I kind of missed my window.
Well, you having it together, Ryan, is something different. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and light a smoke at the same time.
Something different.
This is why you can't interview me at 3 a.m. after a fucking festival.
This is the real deal, folks. So you've been loading in and out of venues all weekend.
Martin, our stage manager at the Marquee, just showed up.
Martin Maunder, how are you, sir?
I am tired and thirsty.
Yeah, but I'll see you up there. But speaking of of youth and stuff, we did the all ages show for the first time with the Pavilion.
Really? Who played?
It was Jody Upshaw, Zamani, Jade Bennett, and Shay Pitts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those artists, I'll be honest.
All of them are fantastic.
Yeah. What kind of music?
Widespread. Hip hop, R&B, folk. Jade absolutely killed a cover of It's My Life.
Oh, really?
I just destroyed it in the best possible way. I fucking loved it. It was good.
Cool.
It was good. There was 20 kids dancing and hanging out, and 60, 70 people in the room, and support young kids because they're the ones who can keep music going.
Totally.
They're the ones who need to go to shows.
Yeah, I think the all ages component is so important because that's exactly it. Like, you have to reach young people and treat them like they matter.
They do.
Yeah.
They're the ones, they are our future, and that's all that matters. We need to start.
Yeah, quite literally.
We need to start creating incubators here that gives young artists and young music professionals and everybody who wants to work in our fantastic industry a fucking opportunity to do so. And that's the end of the story. We need to all start looking at that. It's super important.
Yeah, because it's hard. It's like you can do it for a while, just like plugging away because it's what you like to do. But at a certain point, people do. You got to be able to make it work.
Exactly. I think we all walk away happy after this week because we did a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, I think it's been good. Do you feel like the ECMAs have had a downturn and are now on their way back up?
Yeah, I mean, so I came on 5 years ago, and when I came on with a group of people And our goal was by Halifax to take an event that was always amazing and was doing really good things, but just take it that step further. And I feel like over the last couple of years, we've consistently built that with the award show, moving it to Thursday. We've consistently built that, moving everything and building everything. You know, we have more bands than ever. We have more cool bands than ever. We have more partnerships. We have, you know, OzCan bands from Australia. We have East meets West, where we send bands out west. And we bring bands like Scenic Route to Alaska here to play for their first time. You know, they had never played here until last night.
Because the tour can be daunting. Did they fly out?
They flew in. Yeah. I believe they flew in. I can't remember their itinerary exactly, but I believe they flew in.
Yeah.
And those are the cool things. You know, there was a modestly sized crowd there last night for a venue like Gus's Pub. And
but had they played there on their own show on a Friday night?
I don't know if there would have been anyone there.
No, I don't know if there would have either. Just because it's so easy to miss something.
I mean,
if you've never
we
heard
both
of it.
know from touring with our respective things that you roll into a new city that no one knows who you are and no one's going to fucking
Yeah,
be
no,
there,
they
so.
just don't know. They all are doing something else.
And that's no fault of anybody's. That's because nobody knows what you're doing there. You know? And it's just growing that. But things like bringing those artists here, you know, next time Scenic Route come here, those however many people were in the room can tell their friends, and then their friends will tell their friends, and then who knows, maybe they're doing the Marquee next time.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, look at, you know, the band I tour with, Matt Mays, he did Massey Hall on Friday.
Right.
You know. One of the biggest stages in Canada, one of the most iconic stages in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely.
It grows like that, and that's where you grow. And he did the things that everyone here was doing, and you got to slug it out and put the work in, and then you get to do stuff like that. You get to be that person that people love your art, and you need to put it out there.
Sure, yeah, but you do also need the opportunities to do that. Like, you need to make it make sense, because if it doesn't, that's when people give up.
I agree. Yeah, and that's why you need things like ECMAs and Music Nova Scotia and all the MEAs to support the artists and grow them and let them reach their full potential as best as you possibly can. And that's sort of the end of it. It's like you need to help people meet their potential.
Okay.
And guide them.
So how would you go about that?
I mean, that's a long process. There's a million different ways. It's kind of an individual case by case basis. You know, it's kind of looking at each band. Like when Tara and I were doing a lot of the programming for ECMAs, we were looking at it and going, okay, so this band, for example, we put Walrus on before Sloan. Walrus has opened up for us with Maze on the last 4 or 5 tours over the last 3 years or whatever that I've been with the band. I put them on with Sloan because I thought, okay, maybe Sloan will take them on the road. It's things like that, right?
Interesting.
Like, we look at all of those things. We look at where we can place bands that it makes sense stylistically and where it makes sense for the growth of their career.
Right.
And all the diversity aspects. We look at all of that and we pinpoint. We spend a lot of, we spent months and months programming the gig, and it takes a lot of work, but we look at it and we try to look at each band and what's best for their career in our opinions of what we know, the limited knowledge that we know.
That also, I would say that has a side benefit of making it a better show for the fans. Like, I thought that Walrus was a good, like a natural fit for that show because they're a good band that can hack it on that stage and makes sense stylistically with Sloan.
Yeah. And it's the same as following it up with Hello Delaware. It makes a lot of sense. You know, they're bands that a touring band like Sloan who have been slugging it out for what, fucking 25 years now, 30 years now. They always need openers. They're doing their own tours. You know, they always need people to go out. Well, if we just so happen to put a band like Hello Delaware or Walrus in front of them, and it gets back to management, and they go, okay, let's take them out.
That's a band that can work.
That's a win.
Yeah,
that's a win.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
A win for me.
Right.
And we take a lot of pride in being able to make that. We can't do that for everybody because it's situational based, but we try to do that for everybody. And that's the key, is that you have to try to give people the opportunities that they deserve. You know?
Yeah. Right. That show would have been a good opportunity because it was packed.
It was rammed.
Yeah.
It was so full, which was amazing. It's amazing to see that many people come out to see a show, and people stuck around too. you know, we kind of swung for the fences with putting Sloan on in the middle of a show, because we weren't sure if everyone would stay, if people were going to be there to just see Sloan, if they were going to stay for the showcase, what was going to happen. And I know I was standing side stage getting ready to do the changeover for that, and I was like, I really hope people stay, and they did, and that was super. I guess liberating would be the word I'd use there.
Right.
To see people go, okay, maybe I did come from Sloan, but this band just played their first song and I was fucking into it.
Oh, and they're good.
I'm going to stay. They're
Yeah.
good. They're here for a reason.
Totally. The songs are good. The singer's good. They can play.
Exactly.
Let me
Roger
help you
Nelson.
with your audio right now.
I'd
This is
love
going to
to.
be, like, this will help a lot.
All right, there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this very special East Coast Music Award episode of Hitmakers. What you heard there just at the end was my friend Roger showing up with a Bluetooth speaker and blaring the new Corrosion of Conformity album, which he informed us is the same lineup as Deliverance, and it's really good. So if you're a fan, if you need some new music to check out, I don't know what it's called, but I'm sure you can find it online. We, unfortunately, do not have broadcast rights for that music, so while it's funny and he goes on in great detail, I can't play it for you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks to all my guests, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.